Good afternoon, students. So in our last lecture we have studied about various types of respiration, that are aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Then we have studied respiration in plants, and today we are going to study about the respiration in animals. There are different specific organs in different organisms for the purpose of respiration. The organs are like skin, lungs, gills, which we already have studied in our 7th standard. So, such kind of organs help the animals for the purpose of respiration. That is, they take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. And this process is done with the help of these various organs. And as these organs are helpful in animals, we are going to study that different animals, how they respire in different environments. Like the animals in aquatic condition, how they respire, the animals in terrestrial conditions, how they respire, that we are going to study today. So first we will see respiration in aquatic organisms. Aquatic means those the organisms which live in water are called as aquatic organisms. And these organisms, as they cannot come on the land and take in oxygen, they need some specific organs for the purpose of respiration, and that specific organs are nothing but gills. In them, skin or gills, their moist skin or the gills which are present in their body help them to respire. So what they do, when the oxygen comes in contact with water, this oxygen dissolves in water. And as the oxygen dissolves in water, this dissolved oxygen is taken by aquatic organisms. What they do, this water they take in through their mouth. When the water enters inside the mouth, see, suppose this is a fish. And these are the gills present in the body of the fish. So what they do, they take the water in which the oxygen is dissolved. Here in this water, oxygen is present. So this fish takes the water, it pushes the water, forcibly pushes the water through this gill slits. These are flap-like structures present in the body of the fish, and these gills are actually richly supplied with blood vessels. And as the blood vessels are there, the oxygen which comes in contact with these gills diffuses in the blood, and the carbon dioxide again diffuses in the water. So through the diffusion process, the oxygen is given to the blood and carbon dioxide is taken from the blood in these gills. And then again the water comes out through the mouth. And this is how the circulation of water goes on for the purpose of getting oxygen which is dissolved in the water. And this is how aquatic organisms respire with the help of gills. Even with the help of moist skin, same thing happens. Their moist skin is richly supplied with blood vessels, and then when the water comes in contact with the skin, the oxygen diffuses in the blood and the carbon dioxide diffuses outside the skin. And this is how the exchange of gases takes place in the organisms which respire through the moist skin. So this is how the aquatic organisms respire in the water with the help of gills and with the help of moist skin. Now we are going to see how the terrestrial organisms. Terrestrial means the organisms which live on land. They are called as terrestrial organisms. And these terrestrial organisms are directly in contact with the atmospheric air, and that's why they can breathe in the oxygen and breathe out the carbon dioxide. They inhale it is called as inhalation. So they inhale the carbon dioxide and exhale they inhale the oxygen and they exhale the carbon dioxide. And this is how respiration, I think the part of respiration, which is nothing but breathing, takes place in terrestrial organisms. Okay, so here in terrestrial organisms, with the help of lungs, or one more very interesting organ called as spiracles. In some organisms, we are going to discuss this later, that which organism has which kind of organ for the purpose of respiration. So such kind of organs are there, like lungs, spiracles, which help, or even the skin is also helpful for terrestrial organisms to breathe on the land. They directly take in the oxygen from the air and give out the carbon dioxide in the air. Now we are going to compare that which organisms get more oxygen than that of the other. So let's see the respiration in aquatic organisms. When the oxygen comes in contact with the water, that not all the amount of oxygen get dissolved in the water. A little amount of oxygen get dissolved in the water. Then this dissolved oxygen is going to go through the gills of the aquatic organisms. Then that out of that again a little amount is absorbed in the blood of the gills, and then that oxygen is made available to the aquatic organisms. So very little quantity of oxygen is made available to the aquatic organisms as compared to that of terrestrial, because terrestrial organisms are directly in contact with the atmospheric air. So as much require oxygen, that much they can take directly from the air and they can fulfill their demand. So it is easy for terrestrial organisms to take in oxygen and give a carbon dioxide than that of the aquatic organisms. I think you understood this, that which organisms need what kind of organs and how they actually respire inside the water and on the land. Now we are going to see different organs present in different organisms. So first we will see unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms like amoeba or planaria. They have their cell membrane. As they are unicellular, their cell membrane acts as the organ of respiration for them. That through the cell membrane, diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place in their body. So the simplest organism and their organ of respiration is cell membrane. Then second, if we will take, that is nothing but the aquatic organisms like fish. Fish have gills for the respiration. Then if you see frog, frog is actually amphibian. That means it can live in the water also and on the land also, right? So as this is amphibian, it has two different kinds of respiratory organs, and that are nothing but when they are in the water, they respire through the skin, and when they are out of the water on land, they respire with the help of lungs. Okay, then the fourth and very interesting, that is nothing but cockroach or grasshopper. These organisms have very small round openings on their outer surface of the skin, and these small round openings are called as spiracles, which are connected with the wind tubes. These spiracles, I can draw also, see such kind of spiral structure is there, which further extended down in the skin with wind tube. So this is wind tube and the spiracle. These are the structures present in the cockroach or in the grasshopper. Then the higher animals like us, like human beings or cats, dogs, with the help of lungs. They respire with the help of lungs. So these are the various organs and the organisms by which they respire. The organisms like Amoeba planaria respire with the help of cell membrane. Fish respire through the gills. Frog respire inside the water with skin and on the land with the lungs. Then cockroach and grasshopper with the help of spiracles and wind tubes. Then humans, cats and dogs with the help of lungs. So this is how animals respire with the help of different organs. Now for studying respiration in animals, we are going to take one example, and that is nothing but respiration in human beings. We are going to study the respiratory system of human beings. So today we are going to discuss different organs which are involved in the process of human respiration. So we will start with the nostrils or nose. These are the openings present exactly on the face above the mouth, and these are actually helpful for, these are the openings actually from where the air is taken inside the body of humans. So first organ is nostril. Second is also called as windpipe, through which the wind enters in the esophagus. It is present in the esophagus. The wind enters in the esophagus. It bombards on the larynx. That's why we can produce the sound. So second organ is windpipe. Then the third organ, or it is also called as trachea. Windpipe or trachea. Then the third organ is nothing but bronchi, and the fourth is bronchioles. Then fifth is alveoli, where actually they are present in the lungs. So these bronchioles and alveoli are present in the lungs. These are the various organs present in human respiratory system. In our next session, we are going to learn and we are going to draw actually the human respiratory system. You all are going to draw it with me in our next session, tomorrow's session. So I hope you understood what I have taught you today, that the respiration in aquatic organisms, respiration in terrestrial organisms, the comparison between the aquatic and the terrestrial organisms, and the organs involved in the human respiratory system. This we have studied today. Thank you.